G'day guys, how you doing? Some time ago I mentioned, I think it was actually originally during a live that Cool Cat was running, but I mentioned that I actually believed that the reformation of Israel was 1950. Now, I know they came back in 48 and all these varying things happened in 48 and 49, but there were specific verses, specifically one that says when it talks about the beginning of a jubilee also, when I bring you back into the land. There were certain things that happened with the Knesset, etc., that in 1950, and with all the trees, some of the nations around Israel in 1950, that made me believe it was 1950 plus 80, and that's where I got the 2030 minus 7, 2023. But a lot of people came against me with the 1950 date. Ultimately I didn't care, in so much as I wasn't going to argue with people because it's, so far from salvational, it's not funny, but it was a point in time that I used as a reference or an anchor for the beginning of Israel, 1950. It's interesting now that other people have started to find that information also. I'll play this little clip from Lisa.
He says that this war will bring about the rapture. So this goes on to say it was reestablished in 1948, or replanted, as it were. Yet something profound happened 2 years later, in 1950. Listen very carefully to this. Israel's law of return came into force, one of the state's most fundamental laws. It enabled massive Jewish immigration to the Jews' ancestral homeland. The law of return was the single most significant political component of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land after the state's reestablishment.
I'll just pause it there. Now, I actually made my video about the 1950 start date. It could be 12 months, 18 months ago. Might even be stretching out to 2 years plus ago now. It'll be there with my other videos. And it's now starting to be seen that there was a link between that verse. I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was Isaiah, when I bring you back into the land. It was about a jubilee. Will from Worship and Watch, he talked about it when he came up with that document pertaining to when he thought the jubilee began. It's going back a few months ago now, but that was great information from Will. So yeah, this confirms, I only wanted to play this to confirm for those subscribers that had asked me why I was thinking 1950. Well, it was several things. Israel was planted in 48, but there was also mention of all the trees, the other nations around Israel, and the planting of a seed and the beginning of a nation. I believe there was 2-year gap there. That in that 2 years the government was set up, specific laws were put in place, etc. Israel was recognised internationally. That didn't all happen overnight. So that's where I originally got my 1950 date from. Quite some time ago now I did a video on that. So things are still very, very close. That's why I was watching 2023, because that sort of ended the 80 minus 7 years. But it only needed to be a couple of months into 1950, which would allow us to come a couple of months into 2024, if that was the actual start date, rather than the very beginning of 1950. So we are very close, and we can see things heating up everywhere worldwide. I can't go with a date or a time period right now, simply because I haven't researched them myself. If I was to take a stab in the dark, I would say anywhere between now and about January the 8th. Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. Stay focused, keep positive, and remember it's by Jesus' blood and no works that we've done, that's for sure. God bless.